everybody, Valerie here with You to Do You. Let's dive right into today's video. I want to share with you one of my favorite productivity tools, timers. Timers can come in clutch with a bunch of productivity challenges that you might face. Here is a list of 7 ways that you might use timers to boost your productivity experience. Let's walk them through. First way you can use timers: when you're having trouble getting motivated. You have something to do, but you can't get yourself to do it. We set a timer as a way of breaking that thing down and making it less overwhelming. I don't have to write that entire essay, I just have to work for, say, 20 minutes. I trick myself with this one all the time. You've seen my video, How to Have a Low Energy Day. You might guess that I struggle with motivation, even for things that I enjoy doing. On those times when I can feel that resistance, I grab a timer and set it for whatever small amount of time that seems doable. Sometimes it's a ridiculously small amount, and that's okay. Often it's 20 minutes, but it could be 3. It doesn't matter for this purpose. You're just trying to get yourself over the hump of starting. See, when you're having trouble starting, it doesn't always sound like "I don't feel like starting" in your head. Sometimes it sounds like "this is too hard," or "I'm lazy," or "I'll never finish," or "why did I agree to this in the first place?" or "I can never get anything done." It all seems too big and too daunting. So we make a bargain with that part of ourselves that is daunted. Too big? No problem. How's about we make it small? You just agree to a short period of time. And then at the end of that time, you can decide if you want to keep going for maybe another little bit of time, or if you've got some juices flowing, a longer bit of time, or you can stop. If you stop, hey, you're 20 minutes farther along than you were before. And now you have the proof for yourself that you were able to start, which may reduce some of the resistance next time. I'll link to that How to Have a Low Energy Day video in the description box below, so you can maybe watch for some other non-timer related ways to approach your low motivation days too. Way number 2 that you could use a timer for when you are having trouble staying focused. Lacking motivation and lacking focus can often feel like the same thing, and since they have the same solution, set a timer, they might as well be. But I split them up because they can feel different or even have different sources. I can be motivated, but also overtaken with internal distractions like urges to check social media, worries about the future, and maybe external distractions like message pings and so on. So you can set a timer and say to yourself, hey, for the next, say, 30 minutes, I'm not going to scroll or think about my worries or check those notifications. I'm just going to do what I set out to do in these 30 minutes. Now, you don't need to be harsh with yourself about it, but you can watch yourself. Want to check that notification? Just pause and gently say to yourself, oh, yeah, I have that itchy feeling. I want to go check. But you can just ride it out. Take a breath and just dive back in. Okay, number 3, you can use a timer when you actually need to stop at a certain time. We might call this an alarm rather than a timer, but same general idea. If your timer is reliable, using it may keep you from checking the clock constantly and therefore make it easier to stay in the flow of whatever you're doing until your allotted time is up. Bonus, if you're someone who has trouble transitioning from one thing to another, you may want to actually set 2 alarms. One, say, for like 10 minutes before you need to end, like a pre-alarm to tell you, hey, it's time to start shifting gears, something to get your brain used to the idea that it isn't going to be in this current mode forever. And then you set the real alarm at the end of the allotted time. And actually, even those of us who don't struggle with transitions can use this tool. It can be nice to have a pre-alarm to prompt you to wrap up and set yourself up for the next thing. Maybe that's jotting down important stuff floating in your brain that might drift away and not be there for the next time you sit down, or maybe even take a moment to decide where you want to pick up on this project that you were focused on, so you can dive right into that moment, that place, the next time you revisit this. Number 4, we use timers when we want to get realistic. Sometimes we build up a dreaded task in our minds as something that will take forever. Ugh. So you actually may want to test, observe how long something actually takes so you can get realistic about it. Stop building it up in your head as something huge. I actually timed how long it takes for me to put away the dishes, and turns out it's less than 5 minutes. Like maybe listening to 2 songs or heating up 2 things in the microwave. it's not long at all. And turns out, yeah, I can do it. Way number 5, the timers come in clutch when you want to plan. It's hard to plan for something if you don't know how long it takes. You may have some recurring tasks that you haven't quite gotten a grip on time-wise. You may recall from my kitchen video, which I will link down below, that I timed how long it took me to cook up some veggies on a Saturday morning, and that was so I could properly block out time for batch cooking in my schedule. I used to just try to fit it in when I could, but that wasn't so successful. So I timed it, and now that I know how long it takes, I can specifically block out time for it. And that has led me to cooking more often, which means I'm eating better. Number 6 way that you can use a timer: when you habitually forget or skip over breaks. When the timer goes off, you can get up or step away from whatever you're doing, get a change of scenery. Maybe move your body a little, take a short walk, stare out the window, use one of my 5-minute breaks, playlist in the description box below, whatever you want to do to take a break. Now, you could probably make a drinking game out of how many times I'm going to mention taking breaks on this channel, but I do believe they are important, and the reminder is worthy of repetition. For a fresh take on it, we turn to Justin Ting. He's a YouTuber that specializes in study habits, and he says that we should take study breaks often because we want to get our brains back into tip-top mode as much as possible. We want to work when our brains are the freshest, so they learn how to be in that mode best. We don't want to train our brains to work in suboptimal mode. For him, suboptimal means unfocused, and being truly focused is actually pretty hard. And if we allow ourselves to study while unfocused, we're telling our brains it's okay to be unfocused. So, unfocused studying is not so great, and probably being unfocused is not so great for the rest of our work either. So take that break so you can get back into optimal mode. Number 7, you need to grab a timer when you need to put pressure on yourself to execute. This is like a little gamification. Some folks really like to play a game, like how much can I get done in X amount of time? How many clean clothes can I hang up in 10 minutes? How many emails can I clean out of my inbox in 8 minutes? How many blog post ideas can I come up with in 4 minutes? You see, we're amping up the energy with urgency. So if you need a sprint vibe to get something done, this timer solution is for you. Set a timer and go, go, go. So what timer should you use? Doesn't matter. But maybe you want one that's not on your phone so that looking at your phone doesn't suck you into distracting stuff before you even get started. For that, there's plenty of old kitchen timers. They have ones with magnetic backing so you can stick them on your fridge or other metal places. They have ones that require no batteries, crank, ones that just turn on when you rotate them, all kinds of fun ones that might jive with your aesthetic and kind of motivate you to use that timer. I do actually use the one on the phone because it's basically by my side constantly and it doesn't take up any extra space in my life. If you have a smartwatch, that's a good option. And going back to number 3, you might want to use one that sets multiple alarms for one session, the pre-alarm and then the actual alarm. Or, you can actually just set 2 different timers. Or here's a fun but perhaps overly complicated idea. You can make an appointment in your calendar that starts at the end of your time. Calendar apps often allow you to set multiple notifications for the same event. So you can create an event that starts when you want to end, and you set one notification for that event 10 minutes before the event, and then another one at the event itself. Many computers have timer apps on them, and you could certainly use that. And last but not least, some to-do list apps actually have timers built in too. So let us know in the comments below, how do you use timers? Did I miss any uses for timers that you use in your productivity? And while you're there in the comments, you can give this video a like. And if you want to see more videos like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.